The problem isn't your skill. It's the plan you're following. Most woodworking plans don't actually fail on paper. They fail the moment you try to build from them. At first glance, everything looks fine. Clean diagrams, nice photos, a materials list that seems complete. It gives you just enough confidence to get started. So you buy the lumber, clear your schedule, and begin. And for the first few steps, it works. Then something subtle happens. A measurement doesn't quite match the diagram. A step jumps forward without explaining how you got there. Two pieces that should align don't. You stop. You double check. You measure again. And the thought creeps in. Did I mess this up? So you go back, retrace your steps, maybe even redo a cut. But the issue doesn't go away. It just shifts. And now what started as a simple project turns into a series of small corrections, second guesses, and wasted time. This is where most people start to feel stuck. Not because they don't understand woodworking, but because the plan quietly stopped guiding them. And that's the part no one really talks about. Most woodworking plans are not designed to be followed step by step in a real workshop. They're designed to look complete. There's a big difference. A plan can show you what the final piece looks like without actually showing you how to get there. It might include dimensions, but not the order you should cut them in. It might show assembly, but skip the exact sequence that keeps everything square. It might list materials, but not account for how mistakes compound if something is even slightly off. So what happens? You're left filling in the gaps. You start making decisions the plan should have already made for you. And every one of those decisions introduces risk. A 1/16-inch error on paper doesn't seem like much. But in a real build, that tiny difference can turn into joints that won't close, surfaces that don't sit flush, or structures that feel unstable. It's like following a recipe that skips the cooking times. You have all the ingredients, you know what the dish is supposed to be, but without the process, the result becomes unpredictable. And here's where it gets frustrating. Because from the outside, it looks like you did everything right. You followed the plan, you used the right tools, you took your time, but the outcome doesn't match the expectation. So, naturally, most people assume the problem is them. They think they're not precise enough, not experienced enough, not ready for the project. But that's rarely the real issue. The real issue isn't your ability to build. It's that the plan was never fully built in the first place. Many plans are drafted, shared, and sold without ever being tested from start to finish. They exist as ideas, not as proven processes. That means no one has actually followed that exact set of instructions in a real workshop, with real materials, step by step, to see where things break down. And without that testing, the hidden problems stay hidden, until you're the one discovering them. That's why so many projects stall halfway through. Not because people lose interest, but because the path forward becomes unclear. At some point, continuing feels riskier than stopping. So the project sits there, half-built, slightly off, waiting for a fix that never quite comes. Now, once you see this pattern, something shifts, because it reframes the entire experience. Instead of asking, why can't I get this right? You start asking, was this ever possible to get right with the instructions I had? And that's a much more useful question, because good woodworking isn't just about tools or technique. It's about clarity. A clear sequence, clear measurements, clear decisions made ahead of time. When those elements are in place, the process becomes predictable. Not easy, but stable. You're no longer guessing your way through each step. You're executing something that's already been thought through. And that's what separates a plan that looks good from a plan that actually works. A working plan removes decisions. It tells you not just what to do, but when and why. It accounts for the small details that usually go unnoticed until they become problems. It's been followed before, adjusted, corrected, and refined. So when you follow it, you're not experimenting. You're replicating. And that changes everything. Because instead of reacting to mistakes, you're moving through a process that's already been pressure tested. And the result starts to match the expectation. Not perfectly every time, but consistently enough that you trust the process. That's when woodworking becomes what most people expect it to be in the first place. Not frustrating, not uncertain, just focused, deliberate progress from the first cut to the final piece. If you want to go deeper into this, there's a structured breakdown in the description that walks through how complete plans are actually built and what to look for before you start your next project. You can also subscribe if you want more videos that break down the logic behind how these systems really work. Because once you understand the structure, everything you build starts to change.